Vuult is a ghost type that depends on the perfect amount of electrical charge. This ghost type has EMF 5, ghost orbs, and SLS anomaly evidences. This ghost type will begin to hunt naturally based on its own system known as charge. Charge is a system that is exclusive to Vuult, where different electronic sources contribute to the total amount that Vuult is charged at. Vuult will start its match off at 0 charge and try to reach an ideal amount of it. Each piece of electrical equipment in the van, such as EMF readers, SLS cameras, and etc., a full list will be included at the end of the segment, will all contribute 2 charge to Vult's strength. They will only add to the charge count when they are dropped in the ghost room. They don't count if they're in your hands. In addition, every player themselves also counts for 1 charge. Very importantly, the breaker contributes 5 charge when turned on, no matter how far from the ghost room it is. Now that you have an idea of how charge works, let's talk about the sanity threshold system. Vuult will begin at a 0% sanity threshold, meaning it will only hunt if the average sanity of all players is at 0%. For every charge level that Vuult gets, it will increase the hunting threshold up by 10%. For example, the breaker adds 5 charge to Vuult, so if turned on, Vuult will start hunting when the average sanity of all players is at 50% instead. Vuult, if at 10 charge or more, can hunt players at 100% sanity, making this one of the most deadly ghosts in a well-powered house. Vult's activity is based on its charge, meaning when it's at a low charge, it may perform fewer ghost events or just be less active in general. At lower charges, Vuult is also more likely to turn on the breaker, wanting to be at a higher charge. So look out for early breaker interactions when suspecting a Vuult. On the other hand, when Vult's charge gets to a higher point, it'll start to do more interactions and spike up in the rate that it's doing them. So as you bring more electronics in, you might start to compare your Vuult to, say, Demon or other active ghosts who are doing lots of interactions. As a Vuult reaches a higher charge, it'll also be more likely to turn off the breaker, and it will stop turning on light switches as well. Although light switches and lights being on do not affect charge whatsoever at all. When the ghost reaches 16 charge, through your electronics being brought inside, the ghost unlocks an ability it can do with the EMF reader. Firstly, the ghost will be more likely to throw the EMF reader at this charge. But the real interest comes from the fact that if the ghost throws an EMF reader when at 16 charge, it will actually have a chance to completely smash the EMF reader. Now, for testing this, what I recommend doing is once you're at 16 charge, take an EMF reader out of the ghost room and put it in the center of somewhere that you're going to loop the ghost, so that you can manually force the ghost to actually throw the EMF reader. Now clear out every other item from the looping spot, so you know that the ghost has a higher chance to only throw that EMF reader. Now, you can very safely rule out Vuult if you actually see it toss the EMF reader. Maybe see if it does it twice. But if it actually throws the EMF reader, you can probably rule out Vuult. It's also important to note that for the ghost to actually be able to smash the EMF reader, the ghost room has to be at 16 charge before the hunt starts, and that charge can't include the EMF reader that you're using to loop with, because the charge has to fully come from the ghost room. Equipment that Vuult is affected by includes the EMF reader, parabolic microphone, trail camera, video camera, spirit box, flashlight, strong flashlight, thermometer, UV light, and the SLS camera.